IT basic chat user training. Today, we're going to go over a number of things about the platform as it relates to chat use and what have you. But before we really dive into detail, I want to start with a little basic background education on what is a LLM or a large language model. Large language models, or LLMs, you can think of as a really smart computer program that has read millions of books, websites, and articles to learn how language works. So, how does it work? Imagine if you spent years reading almost everything on the internet. You'd start to notice patterns in how people write and speak. An LLM does the same thing, but way faster than a human could. It learns how sentences are put together, how words usually go together, how to answer questions, and how to write in different styles. So what can it do? Large language model is like having a helpful assistant, or I like to think of it as an extremely high-powered intern. It can answer questions like a superpowered encyclopedia. It can write stories, essays, emails, chats, etc. for you. It can explain complicated topics in simple words. It can translate between languages. It could help with homework, though you should still learn the material yourself. It can write code. It can have conversations that can feel entirely natural. It can even do some math. What it can't do, though, LLMs are not perfect. They are not, superhumans. They don't actually understand things like humans do, even though they definitely can create the perception that they do. They can sometimes make mistakes or hallucinate, is the term you might hear, where it makes up incorrect information. They don't have feelings or opinions, truly, as a human would. And they really can't learn new things after their training. Their knowledge has a cutoff date based on the set of data they were actually originally trained on. However, these large language models can connect to tools, and when they do, it can create the perception of learning new things as they're able to, for example, search the internet and use their natural language processing capabilities to still answer, summarize, and reason based off of recent information that is available on the internet. So the bottom line is a large language model is a powerful AI tool that can help with writing and thinking and many other tasks.
Now that Adam has covered what AI can be used for and what AI shouldn't be used for, let's jump into what makes HATS AI different and how to use chat more effectively. First, security. HATS is SOC 2, Type 1, Type 2, and SOC 3 certified, and they go through third-party audits. They have a data protection guarantee. Your data is never used to improve AI models, and they have contractual agreements with AI providers prohibit training on your data. Your data remains private and in your complete ownership the entire time. Data is encrypted at rest and in transit, and data is isolated. Your data never mixes with other organizations, and users cannot access chats that other users have created. There are role-based access controls letting you define who exactly has access to what. And there are complete audit trails showing who accessed which files and when. HATS has 24/7 monitoring and security, and they do support GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA, and SOX compliance. There are data processing agreements and business associate agreements available upon request. The third-party apps that they work with, that the tools are powered by, are all encrypted and also have that 0-day retention policy. If you're familiar with AI, this screen may be pretty familiar to you as well. It looks like a standard chat window. You have your message box where you enter your prompt. You have a model selector where you can select various models. There are agents and community agents that are also available, but we'll touch on those in another training. You have your tools selection to select which tools you'd like to use. Tools are additional add-ons to the HATS platform that lets it function as more than just a large language model. Large language models, as you may know, are trained on historical data, so they don't often have access to up-to-date, accurate information. But by enabling web search through the Google, Perplexity, Tavily, or Firequal tools, it can access up-to-date and accurate information. You can also use this to do research, summarize topics. The functions are nearly endless. There are other tools like code execution, which allows it to write and execute Python code. That's used to generate files, do calculations. I use it primarily to open and edit Excel files, PDF, Word documents. It's one of my most used tools. The HATS Workshop Assistant is used to build apps, workflows, and agents, which we'll talk on another call. There are various other integrations that tie into many different websites or vendors. You can always connect to one of them and chat to it and ask what it can do, or you can just simply ask the chat, what does this tool do? Another nice thing about HATS is that you can always ask it, which tool is best for the activity I'm trying to do right now? AI, just like any other tool, is not a one-size-fits-all. There are going to be some activities that GPT is better than Gemini at, and some activities that Gemini is better than Claude at. For instance, I use GPT for my calculations or anything involving a lot of data. Claude is a fantastic creative writer. I use it to draft my emails and summarize topics, things like that. Gemini 3 Pro Image Nano Banana is one of the best image generators. I use this anytime I need to generate an image for a presentation. When you start a new chat, it's going to create a new thread, and they'll be listed chronologically on the left. I'm going to start a new chat, and I'm going to ask Claude, what model is best for a book report? This is going to start a new thread. It's going to generate its response, and it's going to list the new title over here on the left-hand side. It's going to recommend Claude as the best, and then it'll say GPT-4 is a runner-up. It's listing why, and then it's going to ask for some more information. I have the chat along the left here, so I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to rename it to make it easier for me to find. Book report model. I'm going to pin it as well, so that it's always at the top of my list. You can easily pin or unpin by clicking the pin icon, and you can easily edit names by clicking the three dots and hitting edit, typing in the new name, and then clicking away to save it. Now, I used a pretty generic prompt. What model is best for a book report? Let's say that I want to write a book report, and I want to write about Shakespeare. I'm going to need to get a little bit more specific. So I'm going to say, write a book report about Shakespeare. This is a little bit more specific than just writing a book report, but it's still a pretty generic prompt. I bet that it's going to give me back a handful of questions. Yep, asking me what books I'd like to write about, or what the summary of it should be, what it should be looking for to analyze, what grade level it's for. I gave it a very unspecific question. It's going to not answer my question, and it's going to ask for more information. So what should a prompt look like? Well, first, it should be specific. Instead of write a book report on Shakespeare, I could say, write a report on Shakespeare's early life before he got famous. Could give additional context. I'm a 10th grade student writing a report on Shakespeare's early life. It needs to be 600 to 800 words. You can break down a complex requirement into many different tasks. Instead of write this full report, you could say, what do we know for sure about Shakespeare's childhood? What was grammar school education like in Shakespeare's time? What do historical records say about his marriage and children? You can give it a specific format. Give me an outline for this essay and gather the information for me, but I want to write it myself. Or include a table at the end with key events in his life and dates. You can use examples. Go online and search other reports about Shakespeare's early life. What do they have in common? What do they not talk about? You can set the tone. This is a professional academic paper. Please write it in that tone. And one of the primary benefits of AI is it is conversational. You could go back and forth with it and say, I don't like paragraph 2. Do you have any other suggestions? Or change the wording in paragraph 3. Make it more casual. That's too professional. Or add a couple sections at the end. I want to talk about the years in between his marriage and his first child. A quick formula for a good prompt is role plus task plus context plus format. I'm a 10th grade student, role, writing a report on Shakespeare's early life, task. It must be 600 to 800 words, historically accurate and easy to understand, context. Use headings and include a short timeline. That's the format. So what could my prompt have looked like had I gone through that full process? Well, it might look like, I'm a 10th grade student writing a 600 to 800 word report for English class. Please write a book report style biography focused specifically on William Shakespeare's early life from his birth in 1564 through the period often called the Lost Years, before his documented rise in the London theatre world around 1592. Requirements: focus mainly on his early life. Use clear section headings in this order: introduction, family, education, marriage and children, the lost years, conclusion. Keep the tone formal and school appropriate. Do not invent quotes or claim certainty, and end with a brief timeline of 6 to 10 key early life events and dates. I'm going to run this prompt and see what kind of output I get. As before, you can read its thinking process as it goes through and generates its new article following the requirements that I listed above. And it does finish with that timeline that I requested in the word count that I requested. Last, if you want to try getting some other results, you can also edit which model is being used. I can go up to here, I can click the edit button, and I can say I want to run this model as GPT, and then rerun the entire prompt, and it's going to redo it as if it was GPT. This is now a threaded conversation. You see the 2 out of 2. If you click the left arrow, you'll go back to the Claude version of this conversation, or if you stay here on 2, you'll be in the GPT version of this conversation. In this way, you could run the same prompt multiple times to compare and contrast results to give you the best outcome that you're looking for. It's going to follow a very similar format to the Claude output, and it's also going to end with the timeline. Thank you very much. The next section is going to be on training and getting support in the HATS platform. HATS does its best to be self-supported. They have a learning portal available where you can take multiple trainings. They have the HATS early access training going over using the HATS platform. They have AI tools training going over standard AI training. And then they have the HATS Champion Navigator training, a training specifically on utilizing HATS to its maximum efficiency by creating things like workflows, agents, or apps. I do highly recommend everyone taking those trainings. They're valuable to any level of AI experience, from early introduction to AI or advanced prompt engineers. Learning about the HATS platform is only going to make you more efficient. On the next video, we'll get into the workshop. We'll talk about the difference between apps, workflows, and agents, and I'll walk through building the first one. Thank you very much for your time. Last, I do want to wrap up by talking about the HATS support platform. HATS has docs.hats.ai, which is their website to go and search for support documentation. The primary benefit of the HATS support platform is access to the LARP Meeper agent. LARP Meeper is their chat agent that you could use to work through specific problems or questions that you may have in the HATS platform. You can copy specific error messages, you can copy the history of your chat, and you can talk to it for support on your specific use case. If the agent isn't able to resolve your issue, they'll also escalate to an engineer directly in this chat. This way, you can create tickets by chatting to the LARP Meeper agent. Whether asking the platform itself which agent you should utilize, asking the platform itself what agents are best for what tasks, asking the platform for support through searching for documentation, or chatting with LARP Meeper. You can also take trainings on the HATS Learner platform by clicking Learning Portal right here. HATS makes it as easy as possible to get access to information to answer your questions right away. Thank you very much for your time. This ends the first training.